Here are a series of practical exercises that you can use in classes or in rehearsals to help explore Brecht's EPIC THEATRE devices. They'll work perfectly if you're working on one of his plays, or equally as interesting if you're working on any duologue from a non-Brecht text, or even a scene from a devised piece. The added challenge of making a non-Brecht play more Brechtian will aid understanding and really flex those Brechtian muscles. Unit titles. Take a duologue and unit it. In other words, break it down into bite-sized chunks of narrative action. Once you have these units, sections or chapters, present it with 2 actors performing it, and other performers announcing the unit number, the unit name, and the unit description. For example, Unit 1, Doorstep Greeting. Danny meets Lee on the doorstep, and Danny wants to know where Marnie is. You could place these speakers anywhere in the space. Or you could use signs or placards instead of actors speaking this information. You could even use PowerPoint or video design to project this information onto a wall, a screen, or sheet of material like Brecht's half curtain. 60-second pitch. Set 3, 4, or 5 members of the group at a table. They are the producers. Have another member of the group as the pitcher. The pitcher needs to think of a popular story, film, or TV show and pitch the story to the producers in 60 seconds. This version of the exercise is about accurately summarising a story, vocally and physically, in a short space of time. You could then give a further 60 seconds where the producers can ask the pitcher questions about the story, and the pitcher needs to concisely answer the questions. The next stage of the game is for the pitcher to pick a story that has a strong political or social issue in it. These might include The Crown, The Handmaid's Tale, Steve McQueen's The Small Axe films for the BBC, V for Vendetta, Get Out, and so on. The pitcher needs to have an attitude towards this project and why it's important to them, and equally, the producers need to have an attitude towards it as well, perhaps a political agenda or bias. Play out the pitch and then discuss what made the story summary engaging or provocative. Brecht in Bits. Take a story, a film, a play, or a Brecht text and work out how many sections it has. Is it in 2 acts, 10 scenes, 4 acts, etc. Divide the group into smaller groups and have each smaller group work on one specific section of the story. First, they need to write down a summary of what happens in 10 sentences or so for that section. Then choose one of Brecht's devices for them to use to retell the story of that section or act. Their summary retelling should be between 2 or 3 minutes in length. The end result will be a compilation of all the separate section summaries that have the whole story summarised in around 10 minutes. You could do a lucky dip with the different devices in, or just randomly allocate them to the group. You could have one section summarised using only pictures, focusing on gestus. You could have one section summarised in song, remembering that beautiful singing isn't as important as the lyrics. One section summarised using only titles, placards, or text. One using only narration. One summarised using multi-rolling or sharing of roles. This is a great way of exposing everyone to all of Brecht's devices and getting them to retell a well-known story using his techniques. It might be a nursery rhyme, a Harry Potter film, a Marvel film, a Shakespeare play, or a text that you're studying. Wall factors. Assign the characters of the play to a group. If there are more group numbers than characters, numerous people can play the same character. On several pieces of paper, write down the forces or factors that drive the characters. These may be thematic to the play or social or political issues relevant to the characters. Ideas include fame, wealth, sex, love, religion, peace, conquest, and fear. Write one per sheet of paper and stick the pieces of paper on the wall around the space. Then ask the group, as their characters, what drives them in the story. They need to physically position themselves in the space closest to the factor or force that drives them. If there's more than one driving force, they need to position themselves equidistant between the two factors. Then ask every member of the group to explain their thinking. The great thing about having multiple people playing the same character is that they will have differing opinions on what drives the character. You can go further with this exercise by exploring what drives them scene by scene, or naming some specific pivotal moments in the play and asking what factors drive them in that moment. This allows the group to objectively analyse the characters in the story, while subtly introducing the idea of using text, signs, and placards in the space. Agree or disagree. This is slightly similar to the previous exercise. Assign the play's characters to members of the group so everyone has a character. Prepare a list of statements that have a strong focus on political or social issues. Wealth should be evenly distributed. The poor should educate themselves better. Taxes should be abolished. War is wrong. It's every man for himself, and so on. Then have the word agree and the word disagree stuck on opposite sides of the room. Read out the statements and ask the group to physically move to where their character stands on this statement. Ask the group to then explain their thinking. If characters are spending a lot of time floating in the middle in indecisive land, consider upping the severity of the statement from "war is wrong" to "I will join the army and fight tomorrow," or "I could execute a traitor to my country," to help bring out the characters' honest opinions. This exercise will help bring out the social and political issues of the play, as well as what the actors and the characters' viewpoints on them are. What could have happened? This exercise is tapping into the world of forum theatre, but it also illuminates Brecht's idea of the possibility of alternative choices in the world. Play a scene between two characters and have a third actor as a joker. When the characters make a decision in the scene, the joker can clap and the scene will freeze. The joker then asks, "What could have happened?" And the two actors need to improvise the alternative scenario if the character or characters had made a different choice. This improvisation should play for 30 seconds or so. The joker can then clap to stop the improvisation and clap once more to restart the original scene where it initially paused. The scene continues until the next moment of choice, and then the joker can clap again and ask, "What could have happened?" This exercise heightens awareness of Brecht's notion that nothing is inevitable, fate doesn't have a hand here, and that social or political change is achievable. An alternative is attainable. All in a row. Assign the characters of the play to the group so everyone has a character. More than one person can play the same character. Prepare a list of categories such as the most happy, the most right-wing, the most wealthy, the most intelligent, etc. Then give the group 30 seconds to form one long line down the room, from the least to the most in relation to each other. Stick to the 30-second time constraint to limit too much overthinking or ponderance. You could replay this game with the group not thinking from the character's viewpoint, but from the actor's perspective. Here they'll have to develop an attitude towards the character that they're playing. This won't be focusing on clues from the text, but instead they'll be ranking themselves on what they think of the characters that they're playing. And there we go, 7 practical exercises on Brecht's epic theatre. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please give it a like. Do check out these other videos and subscribe. And if you want to support what I do on the channel, you can click on the link in the video description. All the best.